And we are live. What's going on, everyone? It's episode 86. Today's episode is going to be about Doge, Democrats officially getting exposed. That's the new meaning of Doge nowadays around the internet. I saw a commenter put this, so I decided to steal this, borrow it. But I'm honest. I got it from a comment I saw somewhere that Doge now represents Democrats officially getting exposed. Now, why is this the new official tagline trademark for the Doge? It's because Democrats were panicking over Trump and Musk dismantling the US aid as a corrupt empire. As you know, the Democrats are defending the indefensible, right? From the Department of Education to making excuses for teachers' unions and their bad outcomes with our new national report numbers, to the point that they have some of the lowest favorability ratings in a long time, while Trump's approval ratings are constantly increasing. Now, I know many people are starting to get tired of me covering the US aid corruption, but it just keeps getting better and better, right? Democrats are in full meltdown mode, and it's glorious to watch as President Trump and his Department of Government Efficiency, also known as Democrats officially getting exposed, begins cutting off the gravy train of waste, fraud, and corruption. The left is whining louder than ever because they know their schemes are being exposed and dismantled in real time. And it's so amazing, right? How the Democrats are not like reading the room, right? They're still trying to gaslight people, right? There's news outlets, there's media hosts. They're out here trying to protect Politico and say, "Oh no, it was government employees that are paying for Politico. It wasn't being funded directly by the government." USA seems to have two subscriptions to political products, both of their energy and environment products. $24,000, guys. For $24,000, you could be a subscriber for Politico. But media heads from the Hill and all the Democratic Party, they're telling us there's nothing wrong with this. This is just business as usual. It's normal for the government to pay for stuff. Sure, but it's not normal for the government employees to be paying what, $2,500 for a subscription. And here's going to be a segment I want to cover with Vivek Ramaswamy to give you another angle to this, because I think this is an interesting take that Vivek has, that the reason why the Democrats were panicking, the reason why the Democrats were freaking out is transparency is their biggest kryptonite. So let's get into this. Dance with Incels, what's up, bro? Let's get into this.
About Politico getting paid by the Biden people $26 million. Does that make sense?
Of course it doesn't make sense, and that's part of the point of why it's been so non-transparent, Jesse. The idea of foreign aid, in some sense, I don't think we should be using our taxpayer dollars even to help people in foreign countries when we should be helping our own citizens here at home first. But the irony is it's not even going to help starving children in Africa or poor people in other countries. That's just the smokescreen and the excuse to actually carry out a political agenda through the back door.
And this is the problem, right? This is why Democrats are getting exposed. Because Democrats talk about how they're for the rich, not for the rich. Oh, technically they are for the rich, but we're for working class Americans. We're for poor people. We're just trying to make America better. We want American kids to have good education, good health care. We want to solve homelessness. Homelessness. All you have to do is spend $20 billion for homelessness. And just this week, between cutting off all the media contracts, we were able to find what, $26 billion of tax money that we could save. No, the left don't want to talk about how all this waste, fraud, abuse from USAID could have been used to solve homelessness, poverty, world hunger. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about how cutting government waste, we can use tax dollars to fund all this stuff. But no, they want billionaires and millionaires and billionaires to give them all their money so they can manage it. We've seen what happens when you let liberals, Democrats, progressives manage money. They use it for their own political ends. And now the Democrats are getting exposed for the party of self-interest that they always were. Illegal immigration, we're standing up for illegals. We're protecting illegals in these sanctuary cities. Illegal criminals who commit crime that are on top of coming to this country illegally. Why are Democrats defending them? Because they serve a political benefit. They give them more census numbers, which increase their House seats, And if you allow them to vote, there's a high probability they'll vote for a Democrat. Craziness. It's ridiculous how Democrats are going so far to defend institutions that's not been giving American people good outcomes. And I think this is the point that this US aid, all this government funding is exposing. The Democrats defend these institutions because they benefit from them personally, economically, and politically.
I think it was shameful that we're finding about state-funded media here in the United States. But I think equally bad is the fact that we're using that USAID, that foreign aid industrial complex, to push progressive ideas, LGBTQIA plus agendas, woke and DEI agendas, onto foreign countries that cause people in those other countries to actually hate the United States for values that most Americans don't even share. In some ways, it's the financial cost that's bad, but that's the least of it. It's actually the other effects of that illicit foreign aid that's hurting the United States even geopolitically in other ways. I'm glad it's coming to an end. We've had 4 years to complain about this. Now we've had 2 weeks, soon 3 and 4 weeks to actually fix the problem. That's why the people sent Donald Trump in, not for incremental change, Jesse, but for sweeping change. And that's what he's delivering.
It's so, this is like, the Democrats were really falling for this. Like the Democrats were really doing this. I'm still baffled. They were really doing this. They're really sitting tooth and nail defending this stuff, right? Here's a Thomas Sowell quote. You guys know my favorite author. The reason so many people misunderstand so many issues is not that these issues are so complex, but that the people don't want a factual or an analytical explanation that leaves them emotionally unsatisfied. Thomas Sowell, right? MSM is gaslighting Americans. Trump is doing what he has promised. Trump is back stronger than ever. DOGE is cutting through the government fraud like a chainsaw. Democrats are weak and unpopular, losing support by the day. The era of unaccountable spending, and leftist corruption is coming to an end. This is what's being exposed by DOGE. This is why Dems' favorability rating is under the waters in the floor right now. Right? I just did a story covering how the WikiLeaks exposed how 6,000 journalists worldwide, nearly across 1,000 platforms, are got funding from them. The left is not covering this. The left's not going to point this out. They're going to just pretend that, oh, they're dismantling the government. It's hurting the American people. No, you're mad that we're dismantling your control and your gravy train that's not funding organizations that push a left-wing worldview. How is government money funding Bill Gates Foundation, George Soros Foundation, and the World Economic Forum? All three of these things and these people and these organizations are aligned with the Democratic Party. What a coincidence. How come all this stuff always comes back to a Democrat? And when it does come to a Republican, I'll throw you a bone, liberals. I hear the liberals in my life in the comment section crying right now about, oh, you're only pointing out Democrats. What about Republicans? Oh, my bad. I missed it. What about Republicans? Liz Cheney lashes out after Elon Musk exposed her USAID ties. There you go. See, I'm fair. See, I'm fair, right? Here you go. I threw you guys a bone, right? And what about Chris Christo? What's his name? Chris Christo, the anti-Trumper, the one that's the organization's Republicans against Trump. He was funded by USA too. Trump's shakeup of USAID reveals agency finance censorship and smear campaigns. To whose benefit? I wonder. This should infuriate. Whose benefit did the USAID do this to? Some will claim both parties are in part. Oh, Republicans, Chris Cuomo will tell you. Republicans was getting funding from USAID too. But who did it benefit? Democrats? Hell yes. Not Republicans, I tell you that for sure. And this is the baffling part. They'll audit you if you send a Zelle payment, $601 to your wife to pay some bill. They'll audit you for that. But Biden's sending $5 billion for foreign aid, and they don't know where it's going to? Unknown foreign aid sources, and they just approve the payments to just go? Huh? How that make any sense? You wasting billions of dollars in Medicare, Medicaid, We spend $150 billion per year maintaining illegals in our country. And Democrats think it's a good idea to protest that. Donald Trump wants to dismantle the Department of Education, and Democrats are saying, oh, Donald Trump don't want your kids to know how to read. Have you seen the national report card? Our kids don't know how to read right now. Since the creation of the Department of Education, we have been falling near the bottom of the educational outcomes for our children. And majority of kids get their education from public schools. Abolish it. Abolish it already. And this is why the Democrats look so weak. They look so fake here. Because what DOGE has just exposed the Democrats, and forgive me for doing a lot of screen changes. I'm trying to find something that perfectly encapsulates the point that I'm trying to come across in this live stream, is that Democrats are not America first. Democrats are themselves first. They're globalists first. They're everybody but America first. This is the kind of party the Democratic Party is. And this is what they're officially getting exposed for. This is what a lot of Americans are starting to wake up to. Is the fact that they'll protest over the fact that Donald Trump wants to cut funding for the USAID ID, freeze foreign aid for 3 months to figure out what the hell's going on with foreign aid. Democrats outraging about that. Donald Trump wants to dismantle an institution that has been giving bad outcomes for the American people when it comes to education. They want to outrage about that, but they don't want to outrage about the fact that North Carolina, zero outrage. California, zero outrage. Hawaii, zero outrage. But what they're outraging about, things that they personally benefit from. Pathetic.
We will win. We will win. We will win. We will win.
Show you their priorities. When Americans are suffering, no protest. When they personally are suffering from the fact that now these organizations that have been funding their little left-wing activist groups are losing their gravy train, their cash cow, that's when they want to protest. That's when they want to complain about who elected Elon Musk. We did. Donald Trump, how long ago Donald Trump was promising that Elon Musk was going to be the head of government efficiency? Throughout the entire campaign, Democrats asking, no one voted for Elon Musk. Yes, the hell we did. Just like we voted for RFK to be health secretary. Donald Trump promises that. Promises made, promises kept. But here are Democrats pretending like, oh, who voted for this guy, Elon Musk? Oh, you letting a private citizen have access to citizens' private information. What private information that has been exposed so far? Nothing. The only private information that got exposed from is where the money that USAID was using taxpayer money for. Paying Politico, paying BBC. Imagine the money that USAID sent or is being connected to USAID and various government agencies in our country accounted for 8% of BBC's yearly revenue. You don't think that's going to put some influence about how BBC covers the United States of America and Biden? During the Biden years, Politico got $27 million across various agencies. They just got most of their money from USAID. But this is comical from the Democratic Party. Stay defending ineffective outcomes merely because of the fact that they want to manage these things. They just want power and control. That's always been the MO of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party hasn't been this mad since slavery, guys. And you know why they wanted slavery. They wanted cheap labor. They were lazy. They didn't want to do anything. Who's going to pick our cotton? And they're doing the same ish now. Who's going to pay our left-wing profits? Who's going to pay our left-wing nonprofits? Who's going to fund the money to fund all these protesters and activists that we got going on the streets? Who's going to pay their salary? Who's going to pay their bills? I saw something funny. They said 92% of left-wingers, 92% of leftists still live at home with their parents. And everyone was like, yeah, water is wet. This is ridiculous. But I digress. I'm going to give my voice a break, and you can hear a young Republican, lash out at these old Democrats who haven't woken up to reality of America in 2025.
I also find it rich that all of the sudden the other side has some problem with successful businessmen being involved in politics whenever you guys are the party of George Soros, of Bill and Melinda Gates, of Sheryl Sandberg, of Mackenzie Bezos, of Taylor Swift, of so many other billionaires across the country, as well as every woke, weird pervert in Hollywood. I find this incredibly disingenuous. I think the reality is that the Republican Party under President Trump has a very clear mandate from voters, and you guys don't like it because voters rejected everything you stand for and every policy that you've shoved down the American people's throats over the past 4 years, whether it's open borders, a failing economy, raging inflation, this weird woke stuff that you guys have been shoving down our children's throats, and the voters rejected you and they welcomed our party. I also find it rich.
Sad day to be a Democrat, guys. Sad day. Sad day. You got foreign Democrats even blaming the party. You're like, yo, get this party out of my face. Party doesn't do anything for the American people. All it does is cry, create damage, right? Like, Democrats, you're getting exposed in real time. It's not even funny anymore. Here's Byron Donalds, one of my favorite congressmen from Florida.
That is not true. That is hyperbole. Those are false narratives and fake news, which unfortunately gets into media far too often from the Democrat side of the aisle. Elon is looking at how access to the Treasury payment system. He's looking at how all of the systems work, but he doesn't have command and control access. That is simply not true. And furthermore, there is nothing he has read-only access. He can see our Social Security numbers and so forth, right? Let me be clear. There is nothing he can do without approval from either the President of the United States or with respect to members of Congress voting for it in legislation. But let's also be very clear. Let's not act like the United States.
Yeah, and the funny part is they didn't cut all this yet. All DOGE did was expose it. All they did was, hey, look, guys, look what we're spending our money on. Hey, look what the government spent last year on. Ridiculous. And that's what they're mad about. They're mad that, their little hustle, their little underground money, their little money laundering operation got exposed. They mad that they got sunlight. They're mad at what they were doing in the dark while they sitting here pretending to be such virtuous, upstanding politicians. We're the people. We're the People's Party. We're standing up for the little guy. Progressives love to push. Then you found out, no, you're scamming the little guy. Look at Brandon Johnson, the most progressive mayor in America right now. Look what he's doing to the little guy. The little guy is most affected by illegal immigration, and he's still out in his city, causing deficits in his city, putting his city in debt, in high interest debt, to still fund his buddies in the teachers' unions that he's still a part of. The problem that progressives never really tell you is that when they want to be in charge, they want to be in charge to benefit themselves and their people at your expense. At least when a rich person like Elon Musk gets rich, he got rich because he provided something valuable to you as a service. He gave you rockets, high-speed internet. He gave you an electric car. He gives you something that you feel like, it's worth the money. Progressives, all they tell you is, we're going to raise your taxes. We're going to raise your property taxes so I can fund all my buddies' projects. And this is a real exposure of the Democratic Party.
States has been able to pass audits every single year. That is not the case. So you got to have somebody who understands how to reorganize organizations and get them to be lean and efficient. And that's what Elon is doing. The vitriol and the misnomers and the mischaracterizations and the talking points from the Democrats are just that, talking points. But they were in control in Washington. Look at what they have done. I think they need to sit down and take a beat, figure out how they're going to organize their party. We're going to take it from here. We're going to make sure that we get this government organized in the most efficient and proper way.
Hey, man, I hope he becomes governor of Florida, honestly. I really do. I really do. All right? Democrats, what you got to say for yourselves, man? Y'all cooked, man. Democrats are done. Ain't no way. Like, how you defending this? How are you defending all these organizations that's aligned with you politically, aligned with the globalist vision? These are American last organizations here. And you think defending them is making you look good. Hey, I got another one for you guys. Question swirls over $9 million of the Department of Defense funding for Reuters' active social engineering program. Another conspiracy theory comes true. Questions are being asked over the Department of Defense under Biden funding Reuters to the tune of $9 million to engage in active social engineering. Doesn't it feel like that was the case during Biden's term as president? Inflation is transitory. I remember that in 2022 when Joe Biden had the highest inflation rate in 40 years, that they were telling us, oh, it's transitory. Oh, we're not in a recession after we suffered 2 back-to-back quarters of negative GDP growth. They told us we wasn't in a recession, but it sure as hell felt like a recession. Look at the job numbers from July. Sorry. Look at the job numbers. January's job numbers report Biden fell short of expectations again, but strongest economy. Joe Biden's handing down Trump a strong economy, says the liberal pundits on CNN. What lie are you spilling? 143,000 jobs were added in January, which fell short of economic forecasts for the month. The New York Times acknowledged adding the revised monthly averages for all of 2024, 166,000 jobs less than previously thought. With upward revisions to November and December, January looks like a step down. Economists have set expectations at 175,000 new jobs in January, according to Forbes. Today's job market reveals that Biden's economy was far worse than anyone thought and underscores the necessity of Donald Trump's pro-growth agenda, White House Secretary Caroline Leavitt stated in response to the report. I'm done talking. But Democrats told you it was a good economy. Democrats called you a liar, American people, if you believed that the economy was bad. Remember the Guardian post? I love putting that one. The Guardian one I like to put sometimes in my videos, where the Guardian was saying, Americans falsely believe that Biden's economy is bad. Then what, a year later, you've been vindicated right? Let's talk about what's going on today, man. Because this I'm going to be talking about a lot of the left-wing ideas and their idolatry and all this stuff, because methodically, these people are being countered and destroyed. Look at the hysterical reaction, right? Trump, there's some rumors Trump wants to end the Department of Education. That's not a rumor. That's actually what he stated as one of his campaign promises. And look how Trump reacts to these people. That these people, they know they're lost. You know Michael Frost. You guys know. If you're new to this channel, I don't like Michael Frost, man. Maxwell Frost, my bad. I don't like this dude. I don't know why. I just don't like this dude. I think, he's a performative. I think he does. He's a stunt person. Like, he just do stuff for show. He just does stuff to look good. He was the one. He was a congressman that was saying, okay, if you don't want immigrants in this country, I have a bill here to take down the Statue of Liberty. Yeah, that's that guy. I don't like this guy. Case Salak said they be tripping because their self-interests are being aired out. Exactly. I will let this video play. Then we're going to get into an article exposing like the Democrats lack common sense. The worst thing the Democrats ever did was make common sense a conservative thing. That's where they really lost. That's where they really effed up. If you want to tell me what's the biggest F up that the Democrats ever did, was conceding that common sense was a fascist thing, was a conservative thing, was a right-wing thing. That's where the Democrats lost the plot. And that's all there. Let me stop talking. Let's hear what Trump got to say.
Well, I see the same ones. I see Maxine Waters, a lowlife. I see, all these people. They don't love our country. They don't love our country. We want great education. So they rank 40 countries in education. We're ranked dead last. But the good news is we're number one in one category. You know what that is? Cost per pupil. We spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. You look at Norway, Denmark, Sweden, various countries all up and down, Finland. China does very well in education. And then you look at us. We spend much more money than they do per pupil or any other way. But we spend much more money than they do, and yet we're ranked this year, Biden's last year, congratulations, Joe, we're ranked dead last. So what I want to see is education. Number one, I like choice. We all like choice. But beyond choice, long beyond choice, I want to see it go back to the states where great states that do so well have no debt. They're operated brilliantly. They'll be as good as Norway or Denmark or Sweden or any of the other highly ranked countries. They'll be, you probably have 35 to 38 states will be right at the top. and the rest will come along. They'll have to come along competitively. And
Does this convince anybody? You see this lady here? Like, it's so performative. Like, this is just a show at this point. Like, it's just to disagree. Like, you can't say Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump got a point here on this issue, right? Like, they can't even concede that. I made a video about John Fetterman and how John Fetterman points out, hey, look, he's trying to warn Democrats, yo, we're making a mistake again. We can't keep overreacting to every little thing Trump does. And in that video, I made the argument that Donald Trump controls the Democratic Party. All Donald Trump has to do is say 2 + 2 = 4, and the Democrats were outraged and said, no, it's not, it's 5. Donald Trump can literally control the Democratic Party. All Donald Trump got to do is sit back and go, men can't be women. Men can't be women. Democrats quick to counter, quick to disagree, because they don't want to be on the same side as Trump. Shoot. Here's new national test scores make undeniable case for school choice. This is what and the funny part is Democrats hate school choice. Why? Because they can't control your education. They can't control the education of your children. This is why they don't like it. Like I said, Democrats, they don't run on making better outcomes for the American people. They run on, hey, I want to control this institution. I want to control the Department of Education because I want to control the education of your children. This is a famous socialist who Voldemort in Harry Potter is based off of. He says something. He who controls the children controls the future. And education, how you educate your youth, will inform the future. This is why a lot of these school systems and college education and all this stuff, the Department of Education overwhelmingly ran by leftists. This is why they put all this gender stuff, all this left-wing ideology, all this social emotional learning, all these trendy fads. It makes no damn sense. Here's another inconvenient truth. Jimmy Carter created the Department of Education in 1974, if I remember correctly. Before the Department of Education was created, United States had the #1 education system at the time in the 1970s. After the Department of Education was created in 2008, we were ranked 24th in education. And we spend more money since 2008. We spend way more money. We spend way more time on the Department of Education. And for what? Democrats always saying, oh no, we can't abolish the Department of Education because it would have been worse if the Department of Education wasn't created. What? Before the Department of Education was created, we was #1 in the world in education before the Department of Education was created. But the reason why they fight so vehemently hard to keep the Department of Education is merely because the Department of Education is a centralized place where they can control the curriculum of our children. Because 76% of American students are educated by public school system. And the Department of Education has influence over the public school system. And now we want to give it back to the states. Okay, let the states compete against each other because we all know competition is what makes things better. We all know that. According to the National Report Card, results by the 69% of fourth graders and 70% of eighth graders aren't proficient at reading. Imagine that. That means a majority of eighth graders in America can't read at grade level. And Democrats are out here trying to protect it. They're here shouting, oh, we got to keep them.
And by the way, we'll be spending a lot less money, and we'll have great education.
Craziness. This is why the Democrats' unfavorability rate is so damn low. That's why no one likes the Democrats right now. They sitting here whining and crying for what? Oh, because they lost control. They lost power and control. Underwater. Dems' favorability rating by 26 points underwater, while Trump enjoys the highest approval rating of his entire political career. That's what the Democratic Party just did. Democratic Party made history. Kamala Harris lost the popular vote for the Democratic Party since the 80s, since Reagan. Reagan was the last Republican president to win the popular vote. Now it's Trump. How that happened, Democrats? They don't ask themselves that question, but instead, DNC, David Hogg, he's your new vice chair, right? You got a black gay guy as your vice, whatever. Oh, have fun with that. But Americans ain't falling for it, bro. America's not falling for it. How you acting hysterical over the Department of Education? If I told you, hey, you spent $850 billion, that's how much money we spent on the Department of Education. We spend more money in the Department of Education than we do on the Pentagon. And I tell you, yeah, we have the worst education in the world, but we spend more money than any other country in the world. What is a common sense individual going to say? Shut it down. I can't cancel the service. Sheesh. You right, keys to locks. Sheesh. That's crazy work. And you think the American people are going to fall behind you and protect that institution? What are the Democrats smoking, guys? We need whatever the Democrats have, we need that. What the hell are they smoking? What the hell? And then they're going to I need to give my voice a break. I'm going to put another person, right? Because, I think I'm crazy, Democrats, they're racist. They think that black people are the most affected by public education. Yeah, that's where black people do the worst at when it comes to educational outcomes. You take a poor black kid, you put him in a public school, failure. You put that same poor black kid, you put him in a charter school, he do slightly better. You put him in private school, he do way better. So what's the problem? Public school. Public school is the problem. How they operate is the problem. But what Democrats always tell you? The solution to get a better education. What's their solution? Throw more money at it. We already spending $850 billion on it. How much money do you need? Putting more money in education is like throwing money in a fire at this point. Democrats, y'all incoherent. But hey, I digress. Let my brother speak here about the lying and fear mongering. Like Democrats, y'all getting exposed 2025, bro. It's not even right. That I'm surprised that got 31% favorability rating. It about to go to 22 real quick if y'all keep this up.
Elon Musk crashes and breaks everything he buys.
Another Democratic member of Congress lying through their teeth. You know how I know he's lying through his teeth? For example, Elon Musk breaks everything he buys. This man posted that video on X, which is the platform that Elon bought.
Crazy
so
word,
he's actively using the platform that Elon bought that is not broken and claiming that Elon breaks everything that he buys. Now wait until the end because I'm also going to bring another point that clearly blows what he's saying out of the water, but let's let him continue first. Let's see what his angle is.
He thinks he can buy our government. We cannot allow him to crash and break our air traffic control system. Look at what happened when he bought Twitter. It just started crashing.
And you're still using it.
Again, not a big deal if your app doesn't open one day. It is a really big deal if Americans don't know whether or not their air safety is protected. So this is
rich. DI contributed to the air traffic shortage that set up the situation for which the DC airport disaster happened under. Where you had 3,000 qualified air traffic controllers being denied because of the color of their skin. Doesn't matter if they're black or white. Because of the color of their skin, because they think, hey, too many people with your skin color is in this industry. We need more people of a different skin color. Therefore, we're not going to hire you. There's a whole FAAA. So I think I said too many A's. Hiring scandal right now. You got a lawsuit on the FAA. 2023, you had a high rates of near misses at the airport. And you sitting here talking about Donald Trump is going to make it worse. How is it not any worse right now? It's the same argument that Democrats talk about the Department of Education. Donald Trump don't want kids to learn how to read. That's why he wants to dismantle the Department of Education. American kids don't know how to read right now. 70% of 8th graders can't read at a grade level. And you talking about Donald Trump don't want kids to know how to read? You trying to protect the system that's giving us those outcomes. Democrats, who y'all? Democrats are America last, guys. If you're an American, there's no way in hell you vote for a Democrat. I see you voting for a Democrat if you're an illegal immigrant. I see you voting for a Democrat like that. I can see if you're a globalist why you would vote for the Democratic Party. I see if you're a rich person, because, the Democrats don't like to admit this, but they're the party of the rich and the white educated class, right? How long has educated voters been talking about how they make more money than us? If you look at the income of people who voted for Democrat, It was people who made more than $100,000 a year. A large percentage of them voted for Democrat. You saw the working class vote? People who made under $100,000, guess who they voted for? Donald J. Trump. But the Democrats are the party of the working class. Another lie. Democrats are the party of the rich and the white people. I'm sorry. Sorry, white people. I don't mean to be racist. My bad, guys. My bad. White liberal women. My bad. That's who they cater to. That's the party of the Democrats. White liberal women. They care about emotional stuff. They care about social stuff, but they don't care about the outcomes. You want our kids to be stuck with a worthless, bad education system so you can stay in power because you get to control that. Americans ain't falling for this gaslighting no more, boy. It ain't working the same no more, guys.
Again, another instance where Elon Musk thinks he knows better than everybody else in the world. In fact, he doesn't know anything about how to make sure air traffic control works. He doesn't know anything about how to make sure that our Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid payments get out to folks on time. He just knows that he wants to find a way to make money off of this at the expense of other people's safety.
What money are you making out of this?
These people are a joke. Now let's look at some information about X since he's taken over. Look at the second paragraph first. In 2021, Twitter reported an adjusted EBITDA of about $682 million and about $5 billion in revenue. That was the last full year before Musk took the company private. EBITDA is kind of a technical term. Just for simplicity, just super simplicity, just think about it as profit. It's not the same thing, but for this argument, it's good enough because EBITDA confuses people sometimes. So they brought in $5 billion and only profited $682 million. X also reported to investors 2024 adjusted EBITDA of about $1.25 billion and an annual revenue of $2.7 billion. Investors said that was a better picture than they had expected, and X's finances hit an inflection point a few months before the November election. So when Elon took over the platform, a bunch of left-leaning companies shut down their ad revenue. They were trying to harm the platform. That's why the revenue is lower. But Elon's taken over the platform and is now producing more profit than Twitter was before. And it has far more features than it ever did. It is a much better platform than it was before.
But you don't want that for our government. Like, think about it. Like, Donald Trump is this man's a genius, man. He literally turned his biggest adversity into his strength. Leftists don't like me. They don't want to be on the same side as me. They want to put Donald Trump as the divider. Oh, you can't be on the same side. Oh, he's a fascist. You can't associate with him. And he used it to his advantage. Who don't want that? Hey, I can give you better outcomes while spending less of your money. Everyone, every person, every logical person will say, yeah, I'll take that deal any day and Sunday.
Social Security.
But Democrats, they don't want to take that deal. Instead, they want to defend illegal immigrants who costing taxpayers what, $150 billion. This is who Democrats defend, even though the majority of the country want mass deportation. Japan came over today, and Donald Trump announced that here, yeah, I'm gonna find these illegals that's on welfare, on Social Security, and take them out. Because think about it, if someone came into this country illegally, they didn't contribute to Social Security at the level to justify them pulling Social Security. And this is what I'm talking about. If we take out the incentives, we can change the outcomes. You think illegals are going to come over here if they found out that they can't get any of our government benefits being illegal? They'll never want to come over here. But Democrats create all these loopholes. Why? Because Democrats, they're political pawns. Illegals are political pawns. Everyone knows if you give illegals the right to vote, this country will be a one-party country. It will be a one-party nation. Democrats will run everything. Everyone see the playbook. We see you telegraphing, Democrats. We see where you're going.
Social Security will not be touched. It'll only be strengthened. We have illegal immigrants on Social Security, and we're going to find out who they are and take them out. We have illegal immigrants in other Medicare. We found a lot of bad people, a lot of people that shouldn't be on, that were put on through California. A lot of them come out of California.
Take a imagine, California is giving free health care to illegal immigrants. Like, make it make sense. It's effectively free health care for illegal immigrants. Illegals contribute zilch They're zilch or minimum to the tax base in California. Yet they get to reap all the same benefits as American taxpayers. Imagine getting taxed, state tax, on top of federal tax in one of the highest tax states in the country. Just for an illegal to come in, cross the border illegally, because California is a sanctuary state. They come to your sanctuary state and they get to reap all the benefits of your tax money without contributing a nickel into the tax pot, into the pot. Like, make it make sense. I saw a stat somewhere that 55% of illegals are on welfare, government benefits, on some kind of government benefit. 55%. More than half of illegals in this country are on some form of government benefits. SNAP, food stamps, Section 8. What? I see why people want to come over here illegally. But what if we cut that incentive? What if there's no possible way they can do that? Border crossings are already down, but you kill all motivation for someone to break your law. And this is what I'm talking about. Democrats enable bad behavior because they benefit from it politically. This is my biggest argument. If illegals were known to vote for Republicans, I bet you Democrats will quickly become Obama 2008. Remember, Obama still have the title as deporter in chief. He deported 3.2 million people. Yes, you heard that right. Obama deported over 3 million illegals in 2008. His first term in 2008. That's the number Donald Trump trying to get. Donald Trump trying to take the title from Obama as deporter in chief. And Democrats are getting mad over this? Make it make sense.
We're not going to stand for that. So we're going to strengthen our Social Security, et cetera. We're not going to touch it other than to make it stronger. But we have people that shouldn't be on, and those people we have to weed out. Most of them, or many of them so far, have been illegal immigrants. They shouldn't even be in the country. Social Security.
Show me the incentive, and I'll show you the outcome. If Democrats are creating an incentive where it's easy for people to come into this country and break your law, and then you reward them for breaking your law, what do you expect to happen? Why do you think when Joe Biden won, all these illegals were coming over the country? This is craziness, guys. This is, I can't, bro. Democrats, y'all. Here, I got to show you Jasmine Crockett, right? Turns out that Jasmine Crockett is dumber than we had originally thought. The job report is based solely on the numbers from Joe Biden before Donald Trump's inauguration, right? So here's, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. She tried to make this political point. So it turns out that when you don't go broke, you don't go woke, you go broke. Trump's new DEI, dying economy, and inflation. That's not like what Joe Biden was giving us. But okay, it's only 2 weeks in, and Trump is making America broke again. Jobs report reveals weaker growth than predicted, weakest start to the year since 2016. Readers, context. This is why people love X. This is why the mainstream media, y'all can't compete with X. Job growth numbers from the U.S. Bureau of Labor that is referenced is from a time period ending before Donald Trump became president. Dummy. Let's look at the comment section. When the data is outdated, so is the argument. Trump's economy still wins. Oh my God, bro. I'm telling you, Democrats are getting exposed, bro. Like, it ain't working the same no more, bro. The games they're playing, Kieselok says, is no longer a country then, bro. Their game playing and complaining is cowardice of them. Of course. Look. Democrats, Democrats are insane, right? It's insanity to do the same strategy over and over again and expecting something different. Here's Al Green. Al Green put up an article of impeachment against Donald Trump. Bruh. Man's been president 2 weeks. You already got an impeachment ready for him? Guess what the impeachment is about? Dastardly deeds. What the hell that mean? What does that mean? I don't remember you can go to jail for dastardly deeds. So pretty much, Donald Trump is doing things that I don't like, so I'm going to send an article of impeachment. Look how he gets roasted on C-SPAN. Let's take a look.
Said that the protests don't have a plan. Well, the plan is here. This is the plan. Protest, complain now, impeach later.
Let's get to calls because the lines have lit up. Richard in Savannah, Georgia, Republican. You're up first, Richard.
Thank you. I watched you yesterday with the Democrat Party out protesting everything that Elon Musk is trying to do for the American people. The USAID is a 100% a money laundering scheme around the world, kickbacks back to the Democrat Party, whether it's through the Clinton Foundation in Haiti, $4.4 billion and $84 million worth of her daughter, Chelsea Clinton. All y'all have is impeachments and race and gender, et cetera, and you actually do nothing for the people of America today. I think the Democrats should sit back and let America see what it's like to reduce the people in government, the wasteful
Look at his
spending.
face, bro.
And all
my
y'all can
God.
do is just complain and be negative, and we're sick of it. And also,
Richard,
you
let's
live in a city-
let's have the congressman respond.
Nah, I don't need to hear his response, bro. He was getting cooked. Bro.
Said
that yo.
the protest.
Oh my God, yo, Democrats, y'all done, bro. Y'all want to see how done they are? I got a lot of clips. I was prepared for this show. I got more that I want to show. Right now, DEI is back in the conversation. Right, we got a little touch about it. But Democrats are done. Look they don't got no strength, bro. This is America. Let me show you the face of America right now. When a Democrat opened their mouth, let me show you the face. Look, this is going viral online right now. Look at the Democrats. Look at this man. You see this guy with the glasses? That's America's face right now when a Democrat opened their mouth.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him. Let them see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
Giving you the ID, I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID
No.
again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. They didn't see it. Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face.
Bruh, this man, yo, over it. It's just like, yo, get this old Democrat out of my face. Oh my God. Look at this group of golden girls. You agree for that? Oh my God. Democrats, bro. Y'all chose some interesting things to die on, you know? They really did. Right? It's bad. It's bad, folks, man. It almost like you kind of feel bad for them, but at the same time, as you saw them ruin the country, you're not as bad. So here's a voter. This is a person who voted for Kamala Harris. Yes, you heard that right. She voted for Kamala Harris. And guess what? After, 2 weeks of Donald Trump, she's happy. She's pleasantly surprised what Donald Trump did. And this is many voters. This is what happens with many voters. They'll vote for Joe Biden or something. Then the 100 laptop story come out, and they're like, if I knew about the 100 laptop story, I would not have voted for Joe Biden. This is the same thing. You listen to the Democrats fearmonger. They lie to you. They tell you this guy's Hitler, fascism, all this stuff. Emotionally rile you up. Then you do a decision. You know what they say? Never make a decision when you're emotional, because you'll usually regret it. Let's hear her out.
All right, y'all. Listen, let me be one of the first black women that was a part of the 92 or the 93% that voted for Kamala to come out and just say it. I regret voting for Kamala. I really do. I regret voting for her. Already into Trump's presidency, not even a full month, and this man has already secured borders. He's already signing bills that are taking place, that are uplifting this country. Me not doing my history and really, being investigative and seeing all the things that Trump has done, and now having an eye opener and really looking at this man and seeing exactly how this man works has really put something on my heart. And I don't know what I was thinking going in there voting for Kamala in the first place. I'm glad
You wanted to make history, right? You wanted the first woman. This is the emotional crap they get you to buy on, bruh. Human desire is infinite, but your resources are finite. This year, it's supposed to be about practicality, not histrionics. You got Ricky Smiley, this black talk show host, talking about, if Kamala Harris wins, she's going to be the first Divine Nine, Zeta, Beta, Theta. That's what he was worried. I'm like, yo, this is what you worried about? You worried about optics? Brandon Johnson is a black mayor. How's that working out for Chicago right now? They got almost $1 billion deficit. They had to take out loans to finance all their government programs because they want to hold on to illegals. And you want to vote for the party that claimed that they want to secure the border, but under their watch, 20 million illegals crossed the border, causing crime, causing havoc on American women. And you voted for that because of what? Peer pressure? Hey, look, I'm being honest. In the black community, there's peer pressure to vote for Democrat. In the black community, it's easier to come out gay than to come out saying you're a Republican. My black people can tell you that.
I'm glad of the results. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that Trump is in there. But me being so lost and participating into the whole Kamala run and now taking a step back, looking at how this president here is really running things, and it hasn't even been a whole month.
Imagine.
Is something that I do think about. So, I advise people that are in the Democratic Party, myself, to do your research. Really do your research, okay?
Did more in 2 weeks going on 3 weeks than Biden did his entire term as president for the American people. Right? And this is why the Democrats, they focus on emotional messaging so much, because it distracts from the practicality of what they're asking you to do. Hey, we spent $150 billion having illegals in this country, maintaining illegals in this country year over year. And Democrats are fighting Trump over $10 billion to build the border wall. Make it make sense. You think about that. What logical sense does that make? You're fighting Trump over $10 billion to make a border wall that's going to deter people from crossing into your country illegally. But you're fine spending $150 billion maintaining illegals in the country. This is what happens. This is the emotional messaging of the Democratic Party. And they have a hold over black women. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the way they appeal to them, but they just go for it. And enough is enough. Majority of Americans want mass deportation. Illegal labor hurts the wages of the working class. And the Democrats think, oh, no, they're not doing anything. No, you don't see the negative outcomes because all you see is Democrat voters. Every illegal in the eyes of a Democrat is seen as, oh, that's a voter coming in this country. That's a voter coming into this country. We got 20 million future Democratic voters in our country. We just have to get them the right to vote. But for now, they're just going to increase our census numbers, our population numbers, so we get more power in the electoral college because of our census. They're going to boost our census numbers. This is the game. This is a long-term game. All politics has always been and always will be. This is why they're defending the illegals. This is why in Brandon Johnson's case, he's going near $1 billion in debt to keep illegals in his city, in his district.
And I'm proud to be part of that.
I'm glad to hear that. Let me start with you've cracked down on sanctuary cities. The DOJ has put a pause on all federal funding to sanctuary cities and states. You filed a lawsuit against Chicago and the state of Illinois for being a sanctuary city. Am I wrong in my interpretation that a sanctuary city is aiding and abetting in lawbreaking?
Sean, what they're doing is they are choosing illegal aliens over the safety and security of their own citizens.
Why is that? Political pawns. Illegals are a means to an end for the Democratic Party. All they care about is their own power. They don't care about the American people. This is why I said Democrats are for themselves first, America last.
And the men and
Americans are happy this is happening. But then, Democrats and these woke mayors, they're going to play victim. Oh, my God, look, we're being prosecuted by Trump.
Women of law enforcement who are out there trying to protect their citizens. Not only did we sue today the city of Chicago, we sued the state of Illinois, we sued the mayor, we sued the governor, and we sued others. And let me be very clear, if you don't comply with federal law, you're going to be next.
What about those that we now know apparently tipped off the Tren de Aragua?
And that's another thing I just found out recently, too. You got some Americans, this is leftism for you. that's actually tipping off illegals that ICE is in the area so that way they can get away. Make it make sense. Never, oh my God. Key Salog, yes. Never incentivize these folks. Americans, I don't care about your political affiliation. Can we just, 2026, can we not just vote Democrat? Let's not vote for a Democrat 2026. Because they lost an election and they still don't get the message. This is crazy. We got American, like, that's treason. You tipping off illegal criminals that ICE is in the area. Y'all should go to jail for that. I'm sorry. Y'all should go to jail for this, man. Y'all should go to jail. Jail for all of them. This is some crazy work. Crazy work, bro. I'm tired, bro. Let's move on. Let's move on a little bit. So CNN's Brian Stelter has a complete predictable reaction to Politico receiving millions in taxpayer money, right? This is the propagandists that, they paid millions of dollars. I need to know how much CNN's getting. That's what I want to know. I want to know how much money CNN is getting. CNN Brian Stelter portrays himself as a media analyst, but more often than not, he is actually its defense. Stelter sees almost everything through the lens of the media versus Trump, and in case of the shocking new reports about the liberal outlet Politico receiving millions of taxpayers' dollars, he had a completely predictable take. In Stelter's view, the media is a victim here because, of course, the clip of White House Secretary Caroline Leavitt talking about Politico got a lot of notice today. Here's how he responds. This was Brian Stelter's take. A symbolic stick it to the media gesture. Really, Brian? That's what it was? Unreal. People reacted. This is funny. Someone symbolically sent me $8 million. Yes. Yeah, Brian Stelter. CNN propagandist and Democrat activist says ending massive taxpayer subsidies to left-wing organizations, Politico, is a symbolic gesture. I would love $32 million of symbolism to fund real journalism. This is some crazy stuff. Care to justify the government spending, subsidizing an alleged independent news outlet, Brian? Also, maybe the issue of Politico never revealing this arrangement feels rather scandalous. Don't you agree? I suppose $8 million is chump change to grifters on this take. Embarrassing, even for you, Tater. Have you no shame? Stelter is defending Politico because they're on the same team. Do you think he would be dismissing this story if it was Fox News? We all know the answer, guys. We all know the answer. Come on. We know. It doesn't even have to be said. NPR, PBS, funding? Again, who cares? It's just $535 million, says CNN Brian Stelter. The corporations for public broadcasting, which disperse funds to PBS and NPR stations, get $535 million in a year in federal funding. So any official who seriously wants to achieve billions in cost savings will start elsewhere, like the $874 billion spent on national defense. NPR reporters think that America should be renamed Turtle Island. NPR reporters think anyone who subscribes to the free press should go to Guatemala or Guantanamo. Sorry, guys. But we, the taxpayer, must pay them. We always pay them. That's the deal. Thousands of years ago, the American people agreed to this. It was a blood oath with a toll, signed with a witch tail. It cannot be questioned. As I tell Barry Weekly, it's actually easy to spend a large amount of money with a lot of small amount of money. Honey, each trans opera we put on, it adds up. Yes. All these little microtransactions, they add up. If you I have a budget in my household. If you track all the times you spend eating out, you think, oh, $10 here, $20 there. It's the frequency. If you spend $20 for 10 days, you spend $200. But if I told you, hey, you spend $200 eating out, you're gonna be like, no, you crazy, Kenny. I don't spend that much money eating out. That's exactly what's going on with these transactions with Politico. Do I need to show the receipts again, guys? Do I need to go through this route again? Do I need to show? Do we need to show? Look at all these transactions. You got what? Look, we talk about whether it's wasteful for government to spend so much on Politico Pro subscriptions, but this is not federal grants to Politico. Yes, it's not federal grants to Politico, but you got federal employees paying $2,500 a month on Politico's subscriptions. For what? For what? 8.2. $8 million for a subscription service. That must be some good subscription, bro. I wonder what they're getting for that money. In some cases, you got 500K amount of employees, and they're not the only government agency. They got the Department of Energy, the Department of Defense. I mean, I just showed you how the Department of Defense funded Reuters. These people, bro, they think we're dumb, bro. I legitimately think these people are dumb. Like, they're dumb to think that we're dumb. For what? Exactly, Keith Stalox. For what? For left-wing propaganda. For favorable coverage. I mean, the Politico, right? Politico, they discredit. They're the one who put out the Hunter Biden laptop stories, Russia misinformation. Look at that. Department of Health and Human Services, 6.9 million. Department of Energy, 4.2 million. Department of Interior, 3 million. Department of Agriculture, 2. Executive Office of President, 2. Like, for what? Like, look. 27 mil from Biden as a thank you for discrediting a true story. You can't justify one purchase. Like, if you ask the government justify that purchase, they can't justify it to you. No way in hell they can justify that cost to you. No way in hell. Imagine telling your mom you spent $2,500 on a subscription for a news website that Keith Stalox says that ChatGPT could roll up. Like, make it make sense. And you got journalists out here. I just did a video. Chris Cuomo was stramming. They were stumbling, trying to defend Politico. Oh, those are just subscriptions. Yeah, the same way that if I buy Biden's paintings for millions of dollars, yeah, I just think he's a talented artist. Yeah, okay. Plausible deniability. That's all it is. And you know the funny part about all this, right? As much as we making fun of Democrats, politicians, I think what this exposed the most is Democrat voters. Like, they actually voted for these people. These people have power because there's people out there that legitimately vote for them and believe what they have to say. I'm putting this on because, I like to end stuff on a funny note. Democrats are trying to cast this narrative on the American people. Do you regret voting for Trump yet? The way these last 2 weeks been going, I don't hear that no more. I don't hear leftists asking me that question no more. Are you going to regret voting for Trump? He's going to dismantle the deep state. That's what I voted for. Elon Musk is the shadow president. No, he's not. He's doing exactly what Donald Trump said he was going to do. He was going to make the government efficient. He was going to make the government transparent. And you're mad that we found out, or more likely, that evidence came out confirming what other people already thought about the mainstream media, that it's biased against Donald Trump. It's in the pocket of the Democratic Party, and you're just mad that we found out. And that's with DOGE only having read access. Imagine when they actually start cutting. You got mad the minute Donald Trump said, hey, I'm freezing foreign aid for 3 months because I need to figure out what the hell y'all sending the money to. Y'all freaked out about that. Now you complain, oh, well, Elon Musk can see our private information. Bruh, we online, bruh. At this point, to trade at Robinhood, you scan your driver's license on your phone, bro. Come on. Like, no one's worried about Elon Musk seeing social security numbers. But this is the left for you. So I'm going to play this little clip, make it a little fun time. And then I got one more topic that I wanted to illustrate before.
Did you see what Trump did? He's rounding up mostly documented migrants to send them back. Bet you regret voting for him now, huh?
No, that's pretty much why we voted him into office, really.
He's even rounding up innocent illegals who didn't even commit a crime.
Illegal immigration is definitely illegal.
But did you know that Trump has already started sending peace-loving, patriotic, undocumented foreigners back to their countries of origin? On planes? Bet you regret voting for Trump now, don't you?
Bet you regret voting Republican, huh?
I mean, now that I know this was always possible, I regret voting for every other Republican.
Oh my gosh! Mexico just denied the plane of undocumented doctors and lawyers that Trump sent over.
All right, that'll teach him.
Oh no.
Oh, never mind.
swear, bro. Hey, at this point, conservatives is just having fun with it at this point. The Mexican president.
Trump is throwing undocumented better than us angel darling immigrants out of planes? Oh, you have to regret voting for him now.
You regret it yet?
You must be regretting it now.
Oh my gosh, Trump just signed an executive order to install a 50-foot tall wall around the entire country with moats full of alligators and fully automated laser turrets and razor wire at the top, and it's already finished construction.
Magnificent.
Magnificent. Yo, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. No boss, bro. Oh my God. I'm sure. Yo, Freedom Tunes. Check out that channel. Good content. Good content, guys. Good content. So, whoo, I gotta stop laughing, bro. Oh my God, the lasers had me dying, bro. Lasers had me dying. So I want to talk about DEI because I think it's a fascinating way to end the video. So there was an interesting segment that was happening online where there's this panelist on CNN crying about how she faced racism, not racism, that she's the most qualified person and she was the least paid person, right? And Greg Foreman, Black Conservative Perspective YouTube channel, he kind of exposed her. He said she gets paid $10,000 to $20,000 per speaking engagement to talk about racism and DEI, but somehow she's oppressed and underpaid. I'm telling you, Democrats are getting exposed in real time, guys. So let's get into it. I got like 5 minutes that I want to wrap it up with. So let's talk about DEI.
I do not have the same opportunity as you. I know I don't.
And you know
and
that
I know
too.
what, Scott?
And you know that.
Let me just tell you about me.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I want to answer this.
I'm not talking about how you feel. I'm talking about how I feel.
Oh, she about to
Me,
cry.
a black woman in this country.
But not in this city.
And I will run. And if you
Look,
want me
I'm a New Yorker, not in this city. You cannot say that. You can't say that in this city.
I'm not talking about New York. I'm talking about actually
let her finish.
right here. I got a law degree, a master's, and 2 bachelors. Probably more education than all of y'all added up together at this table,
Fine
right?
by me.
And I have always been the least paid person on payroll at every institution I have worked in. And it's not
Even
because...
in the White House?
Even in the White House.
Well, whose fault is that? I don't think you worked for George W. or Trump.
Well, guess what
Democrats'
happened
fault.
when I was there? DEI. Scott.
Look.
I like the guy he's mocking her. But this is the kind of victimhood Olympics that a lot of people get tired of, right? Like, you know, she's getting paid way more than the average American, but here she is crying about how she is the least paid person on the panel. Imagine you make, let's say you're Joy Reid, you make $3 million a year, but you're the least paid person in the panel. Who would be mad about that? I'm making $3 million a year to talk crap on camera? Shoot, that sounds like a lifestyle I want. You getting paid $10,000 for people to hear you speak about racism and DEI. But you want me to feel sorry for you? You get paid more in a day than I do get an entire week at work. And you crying about racism? You crying about how I don't have as much opportunities as you? But who you work for? The DNC, you work for CNN? This is why when you're not raised by a strong father, bro. My dad told me something that made sure I was emotionally resilient. You don't get paid what you're worth. You get paid what you negotiate. And if you look at stats, women are less likely to negotiate their salaries compared to men. That's ability. That's the decisions. And she want to talk about, oh, I'm more educated than all of you guys on the panel, right? Oh, black women are the most educated women in the... No, you're not. Look. This guy's a leftist, right? He's a sociology degree. The minute you hear sociology, this is a leftist. But he makes this argument. No, black women are not the most educated group in America. I'm going to skip because it's not interesting. Here's the interesting part. What is true is that black women in the 2009-2010 academic year receive a higher percentage of degrees within their race than they did women in other categories. That means there was a larger gap between men and women in the black community versus men and women in the Asian community, the white community, the Hispanic community. It was closer, but there was a larger disparity between black men and black women, and they had the biggest gap compared to the gender gap in their racial group. So black women are the most educated in the black community, but they're not the most educated in the US. That's the facts. So they want to put out this false narrative. Oh, we're the most educated. You know who's really the most educated person in America? Let's start with the Asian community. And you know what's been happening recently? There's more women going to college than men. So if I was to go, who's the most educated by pure numbers? It's the Asian Americans. It's Asian women. Look at the graduation rates. 94%. That means 94% of the time an Asian's graduating college. Second highest is white. Then Hispanic at 83, and is a close last place, 81%. Black students. But black women are the most educated. In what universe? So, for example, all MA degrees awarded to black students. Black women get 71% of them. In comparison, white women only get 62% of all white MAs. Here's the chart for the data anyone links to, whatever. But for black women to be the most educated group, they would have to have more degrees per person than any other group. In fact, although a greater percentage of black women have degrees compared to black men, they have less education on average than white women, white men, Asian and Pacific Islander women, and Asian and Pacific Islander men. That's the truth. That's the reality. So you crying about, oh, we're the most educated, but we get paid the less. Yeah, sounds about right. You're not entitled to an outcome because of your degree. And this is one of the main problems I have with college degree. It's a fake credential. It's a fake credential. To me, a college degree is a means to an end. I go to college because I want a skill. That's why you get the degree. The degree is supposed to be a rubber stamp saying, hey, you have this certain skill. But I bet if I look at her 2 degrees and her law degree, her master's degree is probably in education or some DEI stuff. And her job at the DNC was for minority outreach. So you got the job based on your skin color and gender. And then you want to get mad that you're the least paid person? The Asian community are the most educated, but also the most paid. Duh. Yes. And they're also the most married too. The black community has the largest percentage of single motherhood in the country. You know who has the least rates of single motherhood in their race? Asians. Asians are mostly, if you see an Asian kid, it's rare for them to come from a single parent household. And we already know all the advantages of being raised in a 2-parent household. And this is what gets me mad about these race hustlers. They want to focus on everything but the behaviors and actions of a community. Single people have a higher propensity to be in poverty compared to married people. And the black community want to complain, oh, we grew up in poverty. We're socially economically behind compared to other races. Yeah, because you have the larger percentage of single motherhood. The poorest demographic in America is a single mother. Which group of people has the highest rates of single mother can usually determine who is the poorest race in America. That's the black community. That's not because of racism, not because of sexism, because of decisions and behavior. It just so happened that black community do more of that behavior. Therefore, you're going to get a disproportionate more of that outcome. And yes, and exactly, Keith Salak makes an excellent point. You got to show and prove yourself regardless of the accolade. The credential gets your foot in the door. Everything else is on you. I'm a college dropout. The job I work for, usually you have to have a 4-year degree. I only got a 2-year degree because I did an internship. I got job experience. In interviews, they never ask me about my education. They only ask me, what did you do? What you would do in this situation. They asked me about my competence. They asked me about my experience, my skills. What skills do I have? How can I translate the skills that I learned from the previous job? How can I apply it to this job? That's all they ask me. They don't ask me about my degrees. And then if you ask black women, what kind of degrees do you get? It's not STEM degrees, I can tell you that. And they want to get mad why they don't make as much money. Make it make sense. You're the most educated. You attend college the most out of any racial group in America. But you getting a bachelor's in communications, anthropology, social justice, gender studies. Who knows? I could probably Google it right now, but I don't want to Google it. But you want to cry and complain, oh my God, I don't have the same opportunity as you. I wish I had the same opportunity as a LeBron James, but I'm not 6'8", 250, jumping like a deer. I don't have that ability. Everyone has disadvantages. Everyone has advantages and disadvantages. And the problem with the race hustle and these race hustlers is that they pretend that based on your skin color, you had an easier life than someone else. Every human being in this world struggle with something. Everyone got a struggle. It's just we struggle differently. So you're telling me a poor white kid has more advantage than a rich black kid? Hell no. Barack Obama's daughters is not having a worse off experience compared to a poor rural kid in America. Get the F out of here. But this is what they want you to believe. This is what they want you to cry over. Liberal arts degrees, exactly. Not doing real math, doing liberal art math. And you crying why you don't get a good high-paying job. Make it make sense.
I do not have the same opportunity as you. I know I don't. And you know that I know
Hey,
let's go.
and you know who's tired of all the DEI talk the most? Black men, minority men, Hispanic men, Asian men. We just tired of this crap now. Because in the world of men, let's be real. You ain't good, you ain't good. I'm not going to pick you on my team just because you're a DEI person. I don't care if my team is all black. I'm not picking up a white kid if he's not good at basketball. That's how men are. Women play this. Oh, we need to have him in. Oh, just come be part of the game. We'll just want to play around. Nah, men are competitive. If you ain't pulling your weight, we don't want you on our team. You saw how my brother here rolled his eyes?
As you.
You saw him. We tired, bro. I'm telling you. The biggest haters of DEI, I legitimately, I believe this in my soul, is minority men. Because we don't want other dudes questioning our credentials because we happen to fit a DEI quota. Let's continue.
I know I don't. And you know and that I know let's go. And you know that.
She doesn't have the same opportunity as she sits right at the table, right alongside them, and has a conversation with them. Poor, pitiful us. But she wasn't done. Let's skip to the end. I want to talk about this.
Oh my God, that's what it's so. You said something funny, bro. He said, "This is why I'll never date a black woman, even though I'm black myself." Look, I knew I couldn't date a black woman. Actually, let me see. The odds of me being married to a black woman was slim, just because of the fact that I have more conservative, traditional, like kind of beliefs and worldview, right? And then look, I come from immigrant parents. If you know anything about Caribbean people, they're very traditional, right? And you know, black women, they're like this, feminist, career first type of thing. I knew I was gonna just naturally clash with them. And like I said, in my relationship, I don't like war in my relationship. So this was going to be a no-go for me. If you with that struggle love, hey, look, that was never appealing to me in my life. Never. But this is why it's lame, bro. A once wise man once said, he who believes he can and he who believes he can't are both usually right. And this is what DEI has taught a lot of black people. DEI, in effect, has mentally handicapped black people who believe this stuff.
I got a law degree, a master's, and 2 bachelors. Probably more education than all of y'all added up together at this table, right? And I have always been the least paid person on payroll at every institution I have worked in. And it's not
Even in the White House?
Even in the White House.
Well, whose fault is that? I don't think you worked for George W. or Trump.
Well, guess what happened when I was there? DEI.
Listen, it's 2025. If you're like under the age of 40 and you're still crying and complaining about, the white man holding you back and slavery and racism and you can't get any opportunities and everything isn't fair, you're lame. That is lame. Extremely lame. This woman worked in the White House under Biden and Harris. She says she was the lowest paid, even with the DEI administration that she was working for. Well, maybe she just wasn't the most skilled. Maybe she doesn't bring the most value. Just because you have degrees does not mean you're competent, nor does it mean you're good at your job.
Exactly. It's just a credential. And in the day, I don't know if you cheated your way to getting that degree. I don't know if you copied your way into getting that degree. It don't show any kind of proficiency. And this is why I said, like, this is why a lot of conservatives believe that college is actually a scam. College is run by a bunch of left-wing ideologues in the college system, right? If you look at any college professor, is overwhelmingly dominated by the left, and it's seen as nothing more than a gatekeep, a way to brainwash students. Oh, you need this college degree to be successful in life. Not really. It was a dream sold to everybody. Like, degrees, like, no one's going to come in an idiot, get a college degree, and end up becoming a genius. College don't really develop people. All it is a stamp of approval. It's a credential to get permission to get a certain job. That's all it is. And the fact that a lot of people feel entitled to getting paid more money, and it's not, and it doesn't help that the fact that a lot of people who go into college debt to get these degrees, there's no return on investment. You spend 4 years of your life, 6 figures in student loan debt, and the job you get with that degree can't even pay back your student loans that you went in debt to get the job for. Make it make sense. How this is not debt slavery. And then these are the same women that want student loan forgiveness. And even after Joe Biden gave student loan forgiveness, illegally, I might add, student loan debt still grew. Imagine that. Joe Biden forgives student loan debt, which benefit the most educated people in our society, who happens to be our richest people in the society, right? College degrees always, the college graduates always brag about how they make more money on average than non-college graduates. But you want to run on student loan forgiveness, where essentially you're rewarding the wealthiest Americans with student loan forgiveness, but you're mad about Donald Trump giving tax cuts to the rich. Make it make sense, Democrat. Make it make sense. College-educated voters make more money than non-college-educated voters on average, and you want to run on a policy that forgive their student loan debt that got them their job, that makes them more money. Make it make sense, Democrats. But you're mad that Donald Trump wants to cut taxes for everybody, and including the rich. Democrats, bro, this is why y'all losing, bro. Politics, because they know educated voters are more likely to vote Democrat than non-educated voters. And college degreed voters only account for 40% of voters in this country. So they're a minority, yet Democrats are pushing student loan forgiveness. But you mad Donald Trump wants taxing the rich? Get out of here. Here's this guy. Here's Rob Wilson. I love this guy. I think he has a lot of wisdom. And he's going to make an astute point about DEI, and then I'm going to wrap it up after his segment here.
I am absolutely delighted to see the death of these DEI programs that have been one of the worst scams that I have seen in the last 10 or 20 years. Established after the death of George Floyd, the purpose was to address institutional racism in society. Well, let's look at where the money went in just 2 programs that were recently discontinued. One was at Harvard University. It's called the Slavery Remembrance Program. They spent $100 million researching the slaves who were born to Harvard's founders, faculty, and staff.
Wasting time, energy, and intelligence of these people. For what? Just to instill grievance. This is what I'm saying. College is nothing more than a left-wing ideological factory maker. That's it. You go to college, they're trying to brainwash you into liberal ideology. So by the time you earn that degree to go work for a job, you're a leftist activist. And whatever job field you're going to, whether that be a journalist, an economist, a banker, you're a political actor in that position, and you're going to use your position to push a political worldview. That's why a lot of these corporations are initially bucked to DEI and all these left-wing stuff, because they were unknowingly hiring a bunch of activists being created by the college system. DEI is a component of that. And I'm glad it's collapsing. I'm glad people are realizing that DEI is nothing more than racism under new management.
Identify the descendants of these slaves. What the hell does that have to do with pursuing social justice? Well, they finally found out that this was a scam and it was shut down. The second one that was most egregious was 5 years ago Boston University established with Abraham Kendi the Center to Study Racism after $48 million.
Once you hear Kendi's name, you already know it's a scam.
A staff of 12, not one scintilla of research was produced by this institute.
So pretty much you paid $48. And this is what I started realizing about DEI, a lot about black Democrats, that they're not in for the interests of black people, right? Democrats, this is the official exposure of Democrats. Democrats are using racism. It's a hustle. It's a hustle. They get you feeling gay. They want to make white people feel guilty about things that happened in the past that they had nothing to do with. They want black people to feel like victims, even though they never experienced personally the things that people in the past that share the same skin color as them experience, all to justify their own hustle. Because imagine, they have an economic incentive for racism to be alive in America. Because if racism didn't exist, you think they'll be able to get away with DEI? Hell no. If people forgot about slavery, you think they'll be able to run on racial grievances? Hell no. This is a whole money on this is a whole Ponzi scheme, essentially. And this is why I led up with the Ashley thing in the first place. She's getting paid $10K and she's on TV crying about how she don't have the same opportunities as the white man on the panel, but she's sitting on national TV giving her opinion for millions to hear. And she's crying about, oh, I'm the least paid person, making probably more money than all of us in 1 week than in an entire month. But she's crying about how much of a victim she is. Only a Democrat can cry about being a victim while being rich and powerful and influential. Only a liberal can do that. And this is the hustle. This is a hustle. Back in the day, they used to sell drugs to black people, and they realized long-term how much it hurt the black community. DEI, I put DEI in that same bucket. It's a hustle that instead of feeding you drugs, they feed you an ideology that weakens your mentality. You come with a weak mentality. They make you feel inferior because of your skin color. They make you doubt things. They correlate successful behavior with whiteness. If you speak standard English, you're trying to be white. You're adopting to white culture. If you show up on time, that's white culture. If you have analytical thinking, that's white culture. If you're a linear thinker, you're white culture. If you invest and save your money, that's white culture. They try to stigmatize these behaviors that leads to long-term economic success for a group, and they attribute to a race, to a skin color. So that way, when you start doing those behaviors, they slander you and call you're trying to be white. And I'm speaking from personal experience. You see my English? My English it sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I don't talk hood. I don't say what to do, shawty. I don't talk like that. I used to get made fun of. Now my saving grace was I was tall, I was good at sports, I could play basketball, so I got less flack. But still, they were still making fun of me because I did good in school. I talked standard English. I knew how to read. These are the cultural things that black people, the black culture incentivize. This is why black men fall behind in education, because you get made fun of for these things. Black women are the only ones that are allowed to be the smart person in the room. This is black culture. All these boys raised under single mothers, yet you want to blame the educational system for why your kids can't read. Make it make sense. Black boys spend more time around women. Women brag about how they're the most educated and how black men are falling behind. But these black men are raised by single mothers. So if you're saying black men are falling behind, who's raising them? Other black women. So the most educated group of women couldn't teach their son how to read? Are raising men that are falling behind to the women of this generation? And then the women of this generation will complain about black men not falling behind economically, falling behind educationally, and how they say, oh, we got to settle down if we want to stay in the black community, if we want to marry black men. Black men are falling behind. But who raised them? Black women. Make it make sense. This is some craziness. And when conservatives point out, hey, It's your culture that defines your outcomes, not your skin color. But if your culture is stigmatizing behaviors that's going to lead to success, reading your kids bedtime stories, right? Teaching your kids stuff, homeschooling your kids, not teaching your kids that they're helpless because of their skin color, that they're inferior because of their skin color, not teaching them this crap that mentally handicap their kids. And I think this is the real systematic racism, and I'm going to end it right here. Is that a lot of black people, right? A lot of black liberals, they mentally handicap their kids. They put their kids in a fixed mindset where they can do nothing about their situation because of the color of their skin. They traumatize their kids. They took their kids out of the competition before it even start. Oh, you can't do nothing against the white man's on your neck. Craziness. You think I'm going to do that to my kid? Hell no. My kids may be half black, but I'm never going to do that to my kids. I'm never going to tell my kids, oh, you can't do something because of your skin color. Oh, the system against you. I'm going to say, nah, you got to be so good they can't deny you. That's the kind of mentality I'm instilling in my kids. I don't play those games. When I came home with an F, my mom said, why you didn't study enough? When a liberal black kid comes with an F, he go, oh, it's because of racism. Excuses. And what I found out a lot about a lot of people who cry about racism and how it's holding them back, systematic racism, institutional racism, I found out a lot of people are using racism as an excuse. I found out that a lot of people are using racism as a shield from criticism, from personal accountability. I found out that a lot of people are using racism as an alibi for their lack of outcomes in their life. Oh, I could have been great. I could have been an engineer, but I had a racist teacher. What that had to do? Did a racist teacher fail you because you actually scored 100 on the test and she gave you a 0 because of your skin color? No, I didn't study for the math test. How you expect to pass if you didn't study? Oh, the white kid didn't have to study. How you know the white kid didn't study? You making assumptions based on his skin color. Racist. Make it make sense. These are the kind of excuses that I hear a lot of black people tell themselves. And I'm looking at them like, yo, you deserve to lose. That's like you saying you would have been a good basketball player if you were 6'8". There's players that's not 6'8" that are good basketball players. Why you didn't become one? You find out they didn't put in the work, they didn't practice, they didn't put the time in. You didn't study, but you expected to have the same grades as the Asian and white people. Make it make sense. Actions. Your behaviors decide your outcomes, not your skin color. Merit over race. That was the message that the Democratic Party was supposed to understand in 2024. But no, the pundits, these people, their supporters, they still don't get it. They still don't get it that America is tired of being divided by skin color. But I digress, guys. I know I went on a long rant. I appreciate you guys watching the live stream. You guys been fun. Shout out to Keys to Lock, Dance with Incels. I'm just so confident about the things that Donald Trump is doing, that he's setting up an environment where we could try to put this stuff behind us. We can start judging people based on their character, not the color of their skin. And this is the funny part about DEI. They literally are pushing a standard that spits in the face of what Martin Luther King stood for. Being judged on your behavior, being judged on your skill, being judged on your character. And these people are using their skin color to mask the fact that they have bad character. The Alicia girl or woman, whatever she is, she showed bad character. You're getting paid $10,000 per speaking engagement, and you're crying about how you're the least paid person. You feel entitled because of your skin color. DEI is nothing more than black privilege in disguise anyway. And who benefit the most from DEI? Black women. Tell me I'm lying. If you look at any DEI officer in any corporation, it's either a woman or a black woman. It's rare that you see a man as a DEI officer. And if he is a DEI officer, it's a black dude. Usually, it's a minority dude, usually. But it's usually women, white women, or a black woman. That's the DEI officer. Always. But I'm done. I'm done ranting. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. Stay safe out there. I hope you guys have fun. It's Super Bowl weekend. I don't know who you got going, who you got winning. I don't really care. I want the Chiefs to win again just because I like to root for the villain of the Super Bowl. But hey, it's all well and good. Don't get too drunk out there, guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed your Super Bowl weekend. I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Peace.